Shalom, family. This is Grammy Yah. I want to welcome you back, and I want to thank all my new subscribers for hitting that subscription button, and I want to thank all my existing subscribers for hanging on in there with me. And I had a hard time trying to find a word because I was going to say all of my old subscribers, but then I better not say that because I might hurt somebody's feeling. I ain't old. So I had to look deep, and I'm like, okay, existing, that sounds better. Okay? Or my originals. And then, I don't know. But I think existing sound better. What you think? So, and if you have not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscription button, y'all, because this is going to be fire. Yes. Okay. As you saw the title, I will be canning butter today. And the butter is not on the USDA approved list. So you're going to have to can your butter at your own risk. But this is not my first time. But I just want to give a shout out to Homestead Heart, because when I saw her do it about 3 years ago, and then in 2021, I can butter, and the butter is still good. So I trust her. And she said the butter lasts a minimum of 5 years. So, hey, I just want to put that out there. I want to put that shout out there. And I just want to let you guys know that I have salted butter and unsalted butter. And I have 12 pounds. Yep, I got six butter, unsalted, and 6 salted. And watching her, she said, do the salted and the unsalted together so you can have a perfect blend. Excuse me. I got this butter from Aldi's, you guys. They had a $1.99 sale about 2 months ago. And it was only like limit 6 for each brand. For each kind. So I got it. I threw it in the refrigerator. I'm like, okay, now it's time to get this butter on and cracking. This is going to be fire, you guys, because not only am I going to can butter, I'm going to can, okay, one of them I was inspired by this one. If anybody got a Sam's Club, this one is garlic butter with Parmesan cheese and basil. I'm not put the Parmesan cheese in it, but I am going to put the garlic and the basil in there. Yes. Okay. And then I'm also going to do an herb seasoning. Okay. And these are my herbs: parsley, basil, chives, garlic powder, and onion powder. And I wish I had some oregano, but I can't believe I'm out of oregano. So guess what? The oregano is going to miss this bus. Oregano going to have to get on the next bus. All right. So enough of that chatter. I know you came here to can this butter. So now what I got to do is I got to open up all these packages of butter, you guys. Yes. And I'm working with a 14-quart pot. I needed a big pot because this is a lot of butter. So I'm not going to bore you opening up all this butter. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just bring you back. All right, I got all my butter out of the packages. I have 7 pounds in my pot. Let me show it to you. 7 pounds of butter right there in my pot. All right, you guys, this is a long process. So I advise you to at least have a half a day to devote to canning butter. All right. So yeah, let me move these out of the way. So I got 7 pounds in here right now, you guys. So what I'm going to do, I don't want to put all of it because it's going to be overbearing. It's going to be too much. So what I'm going to do now is I will turn my fire on medium low. This is a slow process. You want it to melt slowly because you do not want to burn your butter. Once this begins to melt down, I'll bring you back. You see, can you see the butter? It is melting now, you guys. And like I said, you want to keep stirring it. And since some has melted down, I'm going to add more butter. And I will repeat this process until I get all my butter in this pot. All right? So remember, keep it on medium low. And you just want to make sure you stir it so it won't burn. Woo! My last stick of butter, you guys. 12 pounds of butter. There we go. And you guys, you cannot walk away because you don't want to burn your butter. You have to babysit your butter, okay? Maybe I should call it butter sitting. But yeah, but it's melting down really, really good, you guys. It's looking real good. Look at that. Liquid gold. So we are almost there. And I just want to say, go ahead and get you some food canned up, you guys. I know you've been looking in the grocery stores and they are looking very, very scarce, I tell you. And then within the last, 2 or 3 months, we've had over some millions of people coming into the United States on top of our food already looking strange as far as the shelves looking real funny. So when the system shut down, because it is, you're going to have your supply of butter and everything else that you've been canning. So you won't be one of the ones out there scrambling, looking for stuff to feed your family. That's scary. That is really, really scary. And all I say is just repent, you guys. Yes, yes. So just ask the Creator for forgiveness. All right. So here we go. So it's melting real good. I haven't changed my setting. I'm still on medium low. I'm working with pint-sized jars today, you guys. And they are in the oven and they're only in the oven for 200 degrees, okay? Because what have we learned? When our product is hot, our jars got to be hot. And then I'm going to pull out my canner, and my canner water is going to be hot. This is the hot pack method, you guys. Yes. So once I get this all melted, I'll bring you back. You guys, this is a long process, but you have to keep on stirring until it gets heated up where you're going to see little bubbles around, excuse me, the edges of your pot. That long. It's been about 30 minutes and my feet were getting tired. What I did was, you don't have to do this, okay? Because this is your butter and you don't want to burn it. But I turned my heat to medium, okay? But I stayed right here. And as far as my jars and my oven, I started out with on 200, right? Until they got hot. Once it reached 200, I just have my oven on warm. That's all I need. All right. So now, do you see there is foam? You see this foam? Let me bring you a little closer. Yeah, there is foam. And it's okay. You can keep the foam, because the foam is not going to hurt anything. Or you can just, this is a spatula, and it's real tight knit. You can take a spatula, let me get rid of the spoon. You can take your spatula and just skim some of the foam off. But guess what? This is still butter. It's just foamy butter. And you can use this butter just like any other butter. I just wanted to show you that you can take some of the foam off. And if you're interested in this spatula, I'll just leave it in the description box, okay? And look, that is butter. Butter is there, all right? So let me get back to stirring. And it is getting hot. So when the bubbles, it looked like it's starting. It looked like I'm getting bubbles around the edges of my pot. So this will be ready in another couple of minutes or so. So the next time you see me, I will be setting up my jars, and we're gonna fill the jars up with this butter and the special blend butter, okay? I just took my jars out of the oven. They were in there on warm. Now I'm going to start loading up my jars with this butter. But before I do that, I will put in my herb blend, okay? Let me tell you well, I'm going to leave everything in the description box. And you don't have to use the herbs that I use, but you can use your own herbs. So I'm going to just do 2 with those herbs, okay? So I'm going to put those herbs in first, all right? This is going to be some delicious butter, all right? So now I'm going to ladle in my butter. Like I say, your butter do not have to boil, okay? As long as you get the little bubbles around the edges of the pot, you're good to go. It's nice and hot. And let's hope I don't spill, because y'all know I be spilling. All right. And we're looking for I am spilling, a 1-inch headspace. Ooh, this is gonna be so delicious. And then if you can in butter, it's recommended that you can butter in 16-ounce jars or less, okay? And I'm spilling like crazy, but that's okay. I have a lot of butter here. And that's to the 1-inch headspace. And we don't have to worry about debubbling. So now, let's do our basil and garlic butter. All right, like I said, this was inspired by the basil, parmesan, and garlic butter from Sam's Club. And I'm gonna go with a 1/2 tablespoon of basil. This is a heaping 1/2 tablespoon of basil. This is from my garden. And it's very potent. And then I'm going to use some garlic powder. You can use fresh garlic if you like. But I'm just going to use garlic powder. I'm going to do a heaping, what'd I say? A 1/2 tablespoon. All right. And every time you go in here, just stir your butter, okay? So let's get this in the jar without me spilling. Let me turn it to the side. Maybe I'll do better. Yeah. Turn it to the side here. And this is a very nice ladle because it has the measurements inside of the ladle, all right? And this garlic and this basil, oh man, you can put this on, like when you have spaghetti, you can put this on your garlic, make garlic bread. And this herb one here You can put it on potatoes and steak and just whatever you want, chicken, whatever you want that herb seasoning on. I mean, that herb butter, you can put it on just about everything. Yes. I just wanted to do these. Wow. I just wanted to do these on camera so you guys can see what it looks like. Okay. And I want to make sure I got the 1-inch headspace. There we go. And then with the regular butter, no seasonings. I got a little seasoning right here. Let me get another funnel. I had to change my funnel out because got a little seasoning. I just want this just to be plain butter. Stir it up. Hope you guys can see this pretty good. This is going to be delicious. And I don't have to worry about stirring my seasonings in, because you will see later that I don't have to. Okay, 1-inch headspace. Okay, and so now what I'm going to do now is take my vinegar and my paper towel. Oh. I don't want to block you guys. All right, yeah. And take your vinegar and squeeze the excess vinegar off, and just, these jars are warm, you guys. They are very warm. And just go around the rims, because y'all know butter is greasy. And we don't want to we want to make sure that there's no butter around our rims, because we want this to seal, okay? Squeeze your paper towel out, because we don't want vinegar in there. All right. And we don't have to debubble, because this is all liquid, okay? And then my lids, they're in just warm water. I'm going to just shake off the excess. Shake off the excess water off of them, because everybody know oil and water don't mix. Then I'm just going to take my rims and just go fingertip tight. And remember to check your lids, you guys, and check your jars, because lately we've been running across lids that been having a lot of nicks. A lot of nicks. So just the other day, I found 2 lids, brand new packet that I opened. Brand new. 2 of the jars had, jar lids had nicks. So I don't know what's going on. So fingertip tight. This is warm, y'all. All right, so let me show it to you. That's the herb one. It's going to look better later because it's going to be shaken. All right. And so I have my water over here. And this water, and I have my canner on medium. So hot jars, hot water. All right. Drop these jars into this water. Just make sure I got these fingers. All right, family. So what I'm going to do now is get the rest of this butter into these jars, and I will bring you back. All right, family. I was able to get 14 and a half jars. Oh, the butter that I skimmed off. I'm gonna pour that in here. And I'm not gonna process this little shorty. So I was able to get what, 14, 16-ounce jars in one 8-ounce jar. Now I'm just going to use this right here in the refrigerator. So I'm going to get a used top. I put an X on it. And this is one of the tops that I was talking about, that brand new, and it was defective. Yeah, so I've already wiped my rims, and I'm put my ring on it, fingertip tight. Fingertip tight. All right. 14 jars, you guys, out of 12 pounds of butter. All right. So now I'm just going to take my vinegar, pour in about 2 tablespoons of vinegar. If you have hard water, this keeps your jars from coming out cloudy, okay? I have a Presto 23 quart canner, you guys, and this is very important. Make sure that your pressure dial is in there nice and tight. Make sure this vent pipe, you can see clearly straight through the vent pipe, and make sure this button goes up and down. Turn it around to the side and turn it opposite ways to make sure that it's tight. Because if it's not tight, your canner will not come up to pressure, okay? So now I'm just gonna put my top on, make sure my canner is in the middle of my eye. Now I'm gonna turn my heat up on medium high, you guys, because the ones in this heat is gonna be hotter than the ones on top. So I need for everything to come up to pressure at the same time. We don't want any cracked jars. So 14 pint-sized jars, you guys. Then I'm going to just take this one right here, and I'm just going to put this in the refrigerator. All right. So I don't know if you guys can see. Let me bring you a little closer. Get some of this junk out the way. Slide you up in here. Woo. All right, here we go. See this vent pipe right here? This vent pipe has to start to shoot steam steady for 10 minutes, you guys. Once this vent pipe starts to shoot steam steady for 10 minutes, I will bring you back. Oh, and let me also tell you that I have a rack with the Presto 23 quart canner. You can put a rack to double stack. So I'll leave the rack in the description box as well. This vent pipe has been shooting steam steady for 10 minutes. Can you see it? Can you see the steam? So now I'm gonna put my weight regulator on it. Now my canner has to come up to 10 pounds of pressure. For my elevation, I need 10 pounds of pressure. If you don't know your elevation, just Google it. This little button right here has popped up to let me know my canner is locked. And let me show you, sometimes that little button shoots out water. That is okay. That is part of the process. I'll bring you back once I reach 10 pounds of pressure. All right, family, I have reached 10 pounds per pressure. Now I will just dial my heat back just a tad. I will set my timer for 75 minutes. We are using the 75 minutes time because I am working with pint-sized jars. Even if my jars were smaller, it would still be 75 minutes. And the reason why 75 minutes, because we are working with animal fat. So we will treat this like we are canning meat, okay? If your dial goes between 10 and 11, that is fine. After 75 minutes, you guys, I will turn my heat off. And it will come down from pressure all by itself. Once that button right there drops, that button will let me know that my canner is safe to open, and I will still wait a good 10 to 15 minutes before I open my canner. My canner has come down from pressure, and it's been about 30 minutes, but that's okay. Take off my weight regulator. Always put your towel down because those hot jars and this cold countertop, you may risk of breaking your jars. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this top off, and I moved my canner over here. It was in the middle. Take my top off, and what I'm going to do is lift it up, lift it back down so that steam can come out, right? And it's still a lot of steam, even though it's been a half an hour. Now I'm going to lift it up and take it to the sink. All right, here we go. Let's see what we got. Here's our butter. I'm going to show you what I need to do with this fat after this cools off, because it has separated, the fat separated from the liquid. So once this cool off just a tad, we're going to have to shake it. And we're going to have to shake it every 15 to 20 minutes once it cools off. And if you want to speed up the process, you can throw it in your refrigerator. Look at that. Those are the seasonings. So, you know, that has to be shaken. But that's going to be some delicious butter. Yeah. So I'll come back when it cools off. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to show you guys how I shake it after it cools down. It's just entirely too hot. And this is the only time that you mess with your jars when you canning butter. If you canning anything else, you leave those jars right there. Don't touch them for at least 12 to 24 hours. All right. My jars have cooled off and I'm shaking it. But before you start shaking, just make sure that your jars have sealed. And you have to do this with every jar, okay? And just come back every 15 to 20 minutes. I put this one in the refrigerator. You see, that's a difference between the ones that I didn't put in the refrigerator. You see, and this is going to be, all these should look like this, but it's going to be solid. While y'all was sleeping, I was shaking. Okay, you guys, it's looking pretty good. They are solidifying. Isn't that a beautiful jar of butter? Okay, that's the one with nothing in it. Here's the one with the herbs. And you can see the herbs in there, you guys. Oh. And then here's the one with the garlic and the basil. I should have just stuck with the minced garlic like I did the last time. Last time I used minced garlic. This time I used the powder. And I really don't like the way it looks around here. It really didn't, some of it really didn't dissolve. But at any rate, it's still going to be delicious. I have 14 pint-sized jars, you guys. This is awesome, all right? So, you guys, if you like this video, please hit like, share, and subscribe. I love you guys. Y'all know I do. But guess what? I love the Most High more. Shalom.